Cold messaging, or the practice of reaching out to people that you've never been in communication with before in order to pitch your services, is becoming more and more common on LinkedIn. In this video, I'm going to explore different aspects of cold messaging, from the blatant spam to the more subtle and perhaps more acceptable personalized approaches. While some may argue its effectiveness, I'll share why I'm not actually a fan and offer some alternative approaches to finding clients on LinkedIn that align with building genuine connections who are more likely to actually become clients for your freelance ELT business. I'm Rachel Roberts, and I help ELT, ESL and MFL freelancers like you. I help you develop a business model, an offer and a marketing strategy so that you can work less and earn more. Join my membership, the Confident ELT Freelancer Collective, or dig in deep and work with me more closely on my 6-month program, Designed to Flourish. Check the video description for details and to book a call. Firstly, let me explain in a bit more detail what I do and don't mean by cold messaging. Cold messaging is when you send somebody a message who you haven't previously built a relationship with the sole intention of pitching your service. It's not the same thing as reaching out to connect with someone or to start building a relationship. However, there are more and less subtle ways of doing cold messaging. On the less subtle side are all those people sending identikit messages to thousands of people a week, saying that they can help bring you in X number of leads a week. Anyone else get those? If they're so good at bringing in leads, why does every time I get one of those totally infuriate me? It's not working for me anyway. These are the worst because they're so clearly not aimed at building any kind of relationship. They're working on the law of numbers, that if they send out enough of them, some people will bite. Now, don't get me wrong, probably a few people will bite, so I can't say that this kind of approach doesn't work, but only if you're happy to spam hundreds of people a day. Also up there at the spammier end of cold messaging is where you get what appears to be a personalized message, but when you look more closely, it's clearly been sent by a bot. They've picked you out based on something in your profile and tried to send you a relevant message. The problem is very often it's really obvious that this has not been done personally. For example, they messaged me in the middle of my visibility challenge on LinkedIn recently to ask if I'd like to get more visibility. Then there are less in-your-face approaches, which would still come under the umbrella of cold messaging, but which are generally much softer and more acceptable. Maybe they offer a free call to discuss their program, for example. But it can still feel quite intrusive, I think, when you haven't had anything to do with anyone or shown any interest in what they're offering, and they're straight into wanting to take up your time on a call. If you're doing this and it's working for you, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. But I still don't teach this approach because it doesn't sit right with me, and I find with many of my clients too. This approach, jumping straight to a call without getting to know the person, still often leads to people ignoring or deleting your messages. And that's not a great start to a business relationship. And it's very likely just because they don't like the approach, when if you'd taken a different approach, they might well have eventually become your client. Essentially, I believe that the best way to get clients, and the right clients at that, is what is sometimes referred to as like, know, trust. If you don't give people the opportunity to get to know who you are, what you stand for, what you stand against, and why they can trust you, it's much harder to turn them into clients. Think of it like dating. Yes, the guy going around at the end of the night trying it on with absolutely everyone may eventually succeed, but it may not be a match made in heaven or go the distance. So, what's the alternative in terms of strategy? To continue the dating metaphor, the alternative is like getting to know someone first and then maybe doing some low-pressure dating rather than jumping straight to the proposal, indecent or otherwise. The content that you put out, together with your optimized, thought-through profile, will allow people to get to know you and build that like-know trust. Then you can try asking for a date. The equivalent being getting them to download your freebie and go onto your mailing list, for example, or join your free Facebook group. Some people might even be ready to have a call at that point, and you can help them by making it clear how they go about contacting you and setting up a call whenever they're ready. I'm not saying you shouldn't reach out and connect with people. You absolutely should. If you want to grow your audience on LinkedIn, that's essential. But don't then shove your foot in the door if they haven't invited you in. Have a general chat with them through the messages. Get to know them and what they're looking for. Be led by them. If people are ready, they'll start asking you questions. You don't need to interrogate them. You can always ask them if they want to know more about how you could help them or what you do. If they do, great. If they're not yet ready, back off. Always ask permission before you take these kinds of steps, rather than assuming that that's what they want to hear. If they don't bring up anything to do with your service, that's fine. They'll start to see your content now, and they may be ready further down the line. Keep putting out invitations to work with you and making it really clear how they go about doing that. And when they're ready, they'll know what to do. If you're looking to sell a one-off product like a used car, the relationship may not be as important. But when you're a service provider, like most of the people that I work with, that ongoing relationship is super important, and you want to start it off in the right way. For more help with identifying and shaping your niche, creating your business model and offers to meet the needs of those particular clients, and learning how to market your services more effectively, check out my group program Designed to Flourish in the video description. And in the next video coming up on your screen, I'm talking about why you're not getting clients on LinkedIn and what to do about it.